The night Diana kicked me out of our bedroom, I knew our marriage was over. What I didn't know was that it would become the best thing that ever happened to me. "Trevor, you're sleeping on the couch tonight," she announced, arms crossed, standing in the doorway of what used to be our bedroom like some kind of domestic bouncer. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. I looked up from my phone, genuinely confused. What? Why? Don't play stupid. I saw how you looked at Melissa today. Melissa, our new neighbor, the woman whose moving box I'd carried inside because her boyfriend was struggling with a dresser and she'd asked for help. That Melissa. Diana, I helped her carry a box. One box, that's it. You were ogling her. I saw you. I could have argued, could have pointed out the insanity of her accusation. Instead, something in me just snapped, not in an angry way, in a clarity way. Fine, I said, grabbing my pillow. More space, less snoring, win-win. Her face went red. She'd expected a fight, an apology, groveling. My indifference hit her like a slap. That was 3 weeks ago. Now, standing in what used to be our guest room, I surveyed my kingdom. New queen mattress with memory foam topper, check. 55-inch TV mounted on the wall, check. PlayStation 5, mini fridge stocked with craft beer, blackout curtains, and a damn comfortable recliner. I'd spent about $3,000 of my own savings, money I'd been setting aside from my project manager salary at Morrison Construction. The pièce de résistance, the keypad lock I'd installed on the door yesterday. I'm Trevor Harlan, 36 years old, and I'd just built myself a fortress inside my own house. If Diana wanted to play games, I could play too. The lock was what really set her off. "You can't lock me out of rooms in my own house," she screamed through the door that evening. "Actually, I can," I called back, feet up on my new recliner, beer in hand. "Checked with a lawyer. Since we're still married and both on the mortgage, I can secure my personal space. You've got the master bedroom. I've got this. Fair's fair." "This is abuse," I laughed. Couldn't help it. "Abuse? Diana, you kicked me out of our bedroom for being polite to a neighbor. I adapted. That's not abuse. That's evolution." I heard her stomp away, her footsteps heavy on the hardwood floors we'd picked out together 3 years ago. Back when we were happy, or when I thought we were happy. My phone buzzed. Ray, my coworker and closest friend. "Dude, Cassandra just posted on Facebook that you're emotionally abusing Diana. What's going on?" Cassandra, Diana's best friend since college, social media queen, gossip extraordinaire, and professional shit stirrer. Long story, Diana kicked me out of the bedroom. I made the guest room awesome. She's pissed I'm not miserable. You know, normal marriage stuff. Want to grab a beer tomorrow? Sounds like you need one. I've got a fridge full in my new bachelor pad. But yeah, let's hit Murphy's. Could use a change of scenery. The next morning, I woke up refreshed. Best sleep I'd had in months. No Diana stealing the covers. No cold shoulder literally pressed against me. No passive-aggressive sighs when I moved. I showered in the hall bathroom, which Diana had started claiming was hers too since I was using it. She'd moved all her products in there, crowding out my stuff. I'd moved it all back to the master bathroom last night while she was at her book club. When I came downstairs, she was in the kitchen, phone pressed to her ear, talking to someone in that fake sweet voice she used when she wanted something. "No, I know. It's just so hard. He's completely shut me out. Yes, I think counseling might help, but he refuses." I poured my coffee, grabbed my travel mug, and headed for the door. "Trevor, we need to talk," she said, covering her phone. "Can't. Meeting at 8. Have a great day, Diana." I could feel her glare burning into my back as I left. Work was a blessing. Morrison Construction kept me busy managing 3 different projects, coordinating with contractors, solving problems. I was good at my job, and my boss, Frank Morrison, appreciated that. I'd been with the company for 8 years, worked my way up from assistant to project manager. "Trevor, you look better," Ray said when I walked into the office. Ray was 6'4", 250 pounds of solid muscle, and the gentlest guy you'd ever meet. He could lift steel beams and also cried during Pixar movies. "New mattress, new attitude. Cassandra's still posting about you. Diana's got her whole friend group convinced you're the devil." "Let them think what they want, I know the truth." But Ray's words stuck with me. Diana was building a narrative, painting me as the villain. Why? What was her endgame? That evening, I got my first clue. Mrs. Adams, our 70-something neighbor who lived across the street and saw everything, stopped me as I was getting my mail. "Trevor, dear, I don't mean to pry." That was always how Mrs. Adams started conversations before absolutely prying. "But I've noticed a fancy car parking outside your house late at night, silver BMW, when Diana's home but your truck isn't in the driveway." My stomach dropped. "How late?" 10, 11 o'clock. Stays for an hour or two. I only mention it because, well, with all the break-ins in the neighborhood. "Right, thanks, Mrs. Adams. I appreciate you looking out." A silver BMW, late at night, when I wasn't home. I went inside, my mind racing. Diana was in the living room watching some reality show, glass of wine in hand. "Hey," I said casually. "Mrs. Adams mentioned she's seen a silver BMW around here late at night. Any idea whose that is?" Diana's face went pale for just a second before she recovered. "Oh, probably Cassandra's new boyfriend. She's been coming by late after work sometimes. Cassandra drives a Honda." "His car, Trevor. God, do you have to interrogate me about everything?" I nodded slowly. "Right. Just checking." I went upstairs to my room, locked the door, and sat down. My hands were shaking. Diana was lying. I knew it in my gut. The question was, what was she lying about? I spent the weekend doing research. Not stalking, not anything illegal, just observing. I set up my old dash cam, the one I used to use for road trips, pointing it out the front window of my room. It had motion detection and night vision. If this BMW showed up again, I'd have proof. Diana spent the weekend being unusually nice. She made my favorite dinner Saturday night, suggested we watch a movie together, even laughed at my jokes. It felt wrong, like she was performing. Sunday afternoon, she dropped the bomb. "I'm having some people over for dinner next Friday. Melissa and her boyfriend, Cassandra and her boyfriend, maybe a few others. I thought it would be nice to do a couple's thing." "Including me?" She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Of course, including you. You're my husband." The dinner party was exactly as awkward as I expected. Melissa and her boyfriend Jake were nice, normal people. Melissa was a nurse at County General. Jake worked in IT. They were genuinely sweet together, and I could tell Melissa felt uncomfortable about the whole situation. "I'm so sorry if I caused any problems," she whispered to me when Diana was in the kitchen. "I had no idea helping us move would—" "You didn't cause anything," I assured her. "Trust me, this isn't about you." Cassandra showed up with some guy named Pete, who looked bored and kept checking his phone. Cassandra herself was in full performance mode, talking loudly about her job in marketing, her new apartment, her everything. Diana played the perfect hostess, but I noticed her checking her phone constantly. At one point, she excused herself and I heard her in the hallway, voice low, saying, "Not tonight. I told you, we have people over. I know. Tomorrow." When she came back, I caught her eye. She looked away quickly. The evening ended with Melissa and Jake thanking us profusely, Cassandra hugging Diana and whispering something that made Diana laugh, and Pete giving me a weird look before leaving. "That went well," Diana said, starting to clean up. "Who were you talking to in the hallway?" "My sister. She's having issues with her husband." "Funny, I thought I heard you say not tonight." Diana's hands stilled on the plates she was holding. "Are you spying on me now?" "I can hear through walls, Diana. It's called living in the same house. She slammed the plates into the sink. I'm so sick of this. Sick of you questioning everything I do. Sick of you hiding in your little man cave. Sick of you making me feel crazy. I'm making you feel crazy? Diana, you kicked me out of our bedroom for carrying a box. Because you were flirting with her. I was being a decent human being. We stood there, breathing hard, staring at each other across the kitchen island. This was the most honest we'd been in months. I want counseling, she said finally. If you won't go, I want a separation. Fine, set it up. She blinked, surprised. Fine? Yeah, fine. Set up counseling. Let's see if we can fix whatever this is. But I knew we wouldn't, because 2 days later, my dash cam caught something interesting. Tuesday night, 11:15 p.m. I was at Murphy's bar with Ray, playing pool and decompressing. My phone buzzed with a motion alert from the dashcam app. I pulled up the feed and watched as a silver BMW pulled into our driveway. A man got out, tall, well-dressed even in the grainy night vision. He looked around once, then walked up to our front door. Diana opened it before he could knock. She was wearing the red dress, the one she used to wear for date nights with me. She smiled, pulled him inside, and closed the door. You okay, man? Ray asked, noticing my expression. I need you to do me a favor. Can you run a plate for me? Ray's brother was a cop. Not for anything illegal, just a friendly check. I gave him the license plate number I'd zoomed in on. 20 minutes later, Ray's phone buzzed. Julian Finch, owns Finch Realty, that big office on Maple Street. 39 years old, no warrants, no record. Julian Finch. I knew that name. Diana had mentioned him before, said he was a client she'd worked with when his company needed HR consulting. She was an HR manager at a mid-size firm downtown. I went home at midnight. The BMW was gone. Diana was in the master bedroom, door closed. I went to my room, locked my door, and watched the dashcam footage again. The car had left at 1:30 a.m. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I planned. The next morning, Diana was cheerful again, humming as she made coffee. She kissed my cheek before I left for work, something she hadn't done in weeks. Have a good day, she said sweetly. You too. At work, I couldn't focus, Frank noticed. Everything okay, Trevor? Yeah, just some personal stuff. Nothing that'll affect the job. If you need time off, I'm good, thanks, Frank. But I wasn't good. I was calculating, planning, figuring out my next move. That evening, Diana said she was working late. Big project, might not be home until 10 or 11. No problem. I'll probably be in my room anyway. She left at 6. I waited 30 minutes, then checked her location on our shared Find My Friends app. She was at her office. Good. I went into the master bedroom. I felt dirty doing it, but I needed to know. I checked her nightstand, her closet, her bathroom. Nothing unusual. Then I checked her iPad, the one she left charging on her vanity. She used the same password for everything. Our old dog's name, Buster 2015. It unlocked. Her messages synced from her phone. I scrolled through, feeling my heart pound. There. Messages to Jay. Can't wait to see you tonight. He's clueless, spending all his time in that stupid room. Soon, I promise. Just need to set things up right. Love you too. I took screenshots, sent them to myself, then deleted the sent messages from her iPad. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped it. Diana was cheating, with Julian Finch, and she was planning something. I went back to my room, locked the door, and sat in the dark. Part of me wanted to confront her immediately, to scream and break things and demand answers. But another part, the part that had been quietly growing stronger over the past few weeks, wanted something else. Revenge. The next day, I called in sick to work, first time in 3 years. Frank was concerned, told me to take care of myself. I spent the morning researching Julian Finch, successful real estate developer, owned several properties around town, divorced twice, no kids. His company website showed him at charity events, ribbon cuttings, always with a different woman on his arm. I found his office address, drove by around lunch. Nice building, his BMW in the reserved spot out front. Then I went to see a lawyer. Patricia Chen specialized in family law. Her office was across town, far enough that Diana wouldn't accidentally hear about it. "Mr. Harlan, what can I do for you?" I showed her everything. The messages, the dash cam footage, the timeline. I want to know my options, not for divorce yet necessarily, just options. Patricia reviewed everything carefully. "Well, the good news is that since you're both on the mortgage and there's no formal separation agreement, you're within your rights to secure your own space in the house. The lock was smart." "And the bad news?" "If she files for divorce and claims abuse or emotional distress, these screenshots could be seen as invasion of privacy. The dashcam footage is fine. That's your property. But the iPad messages, what if I just know about them? What if I don't use them in court, just use them for leverage?" Patricia raised an eyebrow. "What kind of leverage?" "The kind that keeps me from getting screwed in a divorce I didn't ask for." She leaned back. "Mr. Harlan, I can't advise you to do anything illegal or unethical. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to tell me what's legal and what's not, what I can and can't do." We talked for 2 hours. When I left, I had a clear picture of exactly where the lines were and how close to them I could walk without crossing. That night, I printed out the screenshots and the dashcam stills. Clear images of Julian arriving, Diana greeting him in that red dress, timestamps showing he'd stayed for hours. I left them on the kitchen table, fanned out like a poker hand showing a royal flush. Then I went to Murphy's bar. Murphy's was a classic neighborhood dive, the kind of place where everybody knew your name and your business. Tina, the bartender, was 40-something, sharp as a tack, and never forgot a face or a story. "Trevor, where you been?" "Busy. Marriage stuff." "I heard. Cassandra was in here last week talking about how you're emotionally distant or some garbage." "Cassandra needs a hobby." "She's got one. It's called stirring shit." Tina poured me a beer. "So, what's really going on?" I liked Tina. She was honest, blunt, and loyal to people she respected, and she had the biggest gossip network in town. "Diana's cheating on me, with Julian Finch." Tina's eyes went wide. "Julian Finch? The real estate guy?" "Yep." "Damn. I mean, I'm sorry, but also, damn. That guy's a piece of work. He was in here a few months ago hitting on anything with a pulse, even hit on me, and I'm old enough to be his older sister." "What's his reputation?" "Rich, cocky, thinks he's God's gift. Goes through women like tissues. I heard he was dating someone married, actually, but I didn't know it was your wife." "Can you do me a favor?" "Depends on the favor." "Just, if it comes up in conversation, mention what you know, not maliciously, just truthfully." Tina studied me. "You want the word to spread. I want people to know the truth before Diana spins it her way." "Consider it done. But Trevor, be careful. Guys like Julian don't like being embarrassed." I finished my beer and headed home around 10. Diana's car was in the driveway. The lights were on. I walked in to find her standing in the kitchen, staring at the photos spread across the table. Her face was white. "Trevor, don't. Let me explain." "There's nothing to explain, Diana. You're cheating on me. With Julian Finch. You've been lying to me for months, probably longer. You kicked me out of our bedroom and accused me of flirting to cover your own guilt. You made me look like the bad guy to all your friends while you were screwing around behind my back. It's not like that. Then what's it like? Please enlighten me. Tell me how you accidentally ended up in a relationship with another man. Tell me how those messages about me being clueless were taken out of context. Tell me how him being in our house until 1:30 in the morning was just a friendly visit." She started crying. Real tears, the kind she used to cry when her grandmother passed away. Part of me wanted to comfort her, years of marriage creating that instinct. but I stayed where I was. I was lonely, she said. You were always working, always tired, always distant. Julian paid attention to me, made me feel special. So this is my fault? No, I mean, it's complicated. It's really not. You cheated. You lied. You tried to make me the villain to justify what you were doing. That's not complicated, Diana. That's just shitty. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. But I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to beg you to stay. And I'm not going to let you paint me as the bad guy anymore. I turned and headed for the stairs. Trevor, wait. We're done talking tonight. Tomorrow, you can explain to your friends why you're the one who destroyed our marriage, not me. I locked myself in my room and waited. It didn't take long. My phone started buzzing around 11. First Cassandra, then Diana's sister, then Pete, then numbers I didn't recognize. I ignored them all. Around midnight, someone pounded on my door. Trevor, open up. Diana, drunk by the sound of it. Go to bed, Diana. You can't just ignore me. We need to talk about this. We did talk. You cried, made excuses, and blamed me. Conversation over. I'll break this door down. It's solid oak with a reinforced frame. You'll hurt yourself. Go to bed. More pounding, then crying, then silence. I didn't sleep well, but I slept. The next morning, Diana was gone. Her car, her purse, her phone charger, just gone. I went to work. Ray met me in the parking lot. Dude, what happened? Cassandra's posting all over social media that you ambushed Diana with fake evidence and that you're trying to gaslight her. The evidence isn't fake. Diana's cheating on me with Julian Finch. I have proof. Cassandra can post whatever she wants. Damn, I'm sorry, man. Don't be, I'm done being sorry. Work was a blur. I kept my phone on silent, focused on the job, and ignored the outside world. At lunch, I got a text from an unknown number. We need to talk. Meet me at the old Morrison warehouse tonight at 8. Come alone. Julian. I stared at the message. This was either incredibly stupid or incredibly ballsy. Maybe both. I texted back, be there. Wear something you don't mind ruining. Ray saw my expression. What? Julian Finch wants to meet me, tonight, at the old warehouse. That's a setup. Don't go. I'm going. Then I'm coming with you. Ray, nope, not negotiable. You're my friend, and I'm not letting you walk into something alone. The old Morrison warehouse was on the outskirts of town, a relic from when the construction company was smaller and stored equipment there. Now it was mostly empty, used occasionally for overflow storage. Ray and I arrived at 7:45. I told him to wait in his truck, out of sight, but close enough to help if things went south. You sure about this? Ray asked. Nope, but I'm doing it anyway. I walked into the warehouse at exactly 8. Julian was there, leaning against his BMW, looking like he'd stepped out of a cologne ad. Trevor, thanks for coming. Let's skip the pleasantries. What do you want? I want you to back off. Diana and I are together now. She's filing for divorce, claiming emotional abuse and neglect. If you fight it, things will get ugly for you. I laughed. Couldn't help it. You're threatening me? You're sleeping with my wife in my house and you're threatening me? I'm offering you a way out. Sign the divorce papers, let Diana have the house, and this all goes away quietly. Fight it, and I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of man you really are. What kind of man is that? Controlling, abusive, paranoid. I've got Diana's testimony, her friend's testimony, and enough lawyers to bury you. I stepped closer. Julian was taller than me by a few inches, but I'd spent years lifting equipment and materials. I was stronger than I looked. Here's the thing, Jules. Can I call you Jules? I've got evidence of your affair. Timestamps, photos, messages. I've got Diana on record lying about where she was. I've got her friends posting about me on social media, which shows coordination and malice. And I've got a lawyer who says that if Diana files claiming abuse, I can countersue for defamation and alienation of affection. Alienation of affection isn't recognized in this state. No, but defamation is. And I've got Cassandra's posts saved, every single one, calling me abusive, controlling, emotionally distant, all provably false. Julian's confident expression wavered. So here's my offer, I continued. You and Diana can have each other, but Diana doesn't get the house. She doesn't get to claim abuse. She doesn't get to walk away looking like the victim. She cheated, she lied, and she's going to own it. And if we don't agree? Then I make both your lives hell. I send the evidence to your business partners, your clients, everyone. I let the whole town know that Julian Finch, successful real estate mogul, likes sleeping with married women. How do you think that'll play with your conservative investor base? Julian's jaw clenched. You're bluffing. Try me. We stood there sizing each other up. Then Julian smiled, but it was cold. You think you're so smart. You have no idea what you're dealing with. I know exactly what I'm dealing with. A coward who goes after married women because single women see through his bullshit. Julian moved fast, swinging at me. I ducked, and his fist hit the BMW's side mirror, shattering it. Shit! He cradled his hand. You done? He glared at me, then got in his car and peeled out, leaving me standing in the empty warehouse. Ray came running in. You okay? Yeah, he's not as tough as he thinks. What now? Now? Now we make sure everyone knows the truth. Over the next week, the story spread like wildfire. Tina at Murphy's told her regulars. Mrs. Adams told her book club. Ray told people at work. And slowly, the narrative shifted. Diana tried to fight back, posting her own version on social media. But people started questioning her. Why would Trevor install a lock if he was the controlling one? Why would he leave her alone in the house if he was abusive? Why would he have evidence if he was paranoid? Cassandra's posts got ratioed, people calling her out for spreading rumors. Pete, interestingly, stopped hanging around with Diana's crowd and actually apologized to me at Murphy's one night. I didn't know the whole story, he said. Diana made it sound like you were the problem. I should have asked questions. Why didn't you? He shrugged. Honestly, I had a thing for Diana back in college. When she started complaining about you, I thought maybe I'd have a chance. Pathetic, right? Little bit. But at least you're honest about it. For what it's worth, Julian's an asshole. He hit on my girlfriend at a party once. Didn't know she was with me until I showed up. Sounds about right. 2 weeks after the warehouse confrontation, Diana's boss called me. I didn't know how he got my number until he explained. Mr. Harlan, this is Robert Brennan from Meridian Solutions. I'm Diana's supervisor. I received some concerning information about her conduct, and I wanted to verify it with you before taking action. What kind of information? That she's been having an inappropriate relationship with a client, Julian Finch, and has been using company time and resources to facilitate it. I paused. I hadn't sent anything to her work. Where did you hear that? An anonymous tip, with evidence, email records showing personal communications during work hours, expense reports for dinners that appear to be personal rather than professional. Someone else had turned on Diana. Pete, Cassandra, someone from Julian's office? I can't confirm or deny Diana's work conduct, I said carefully. But I can confirm she's been having a relationship with Julian Finch. That's what I needed to know. Thank you, Mr. Harlan. Diana was suspended pending investigation. She called me, screaming, You sent them that information. You're trying to ruin my life. Diana, I didn't send anything to your work, but I'm not surprised someone did. You made a lot of people angry. This is all your fault. No, Diana. This is all your fault. You cheated. You lied. You tried to destroy my reputation to cover your own guilt. This is consequences, not revenge. She hung up on me. The following Saturday, our neighborhood had its annual block party. Usually, Diana organized it, but this year, Mrs. Adams had taken over. Trevor, you're coming, right? She asked when I got home from work Friday. I don't know, Mrs. Adams. Might be awkward. Nonsense, you live here. You have every right to be there. Besides, I invited Melissa and Jake. They're lovely people. The block party was exactly as awkward as I expected. Diana showed up with Cassandra, both dressed like they were going to a club rather than a neighborhood cookout. Julian arrived later, parking his BMW down the street. I was talking to Melissa and Jake about their recent engagement when Diana walked over. Trevor, can we talk? Privately? Anything you want to say, you can say here. Her face flushed. Fine. I want to work things out. I made a mistake. I'm willing to go to counseling to fix this. You're willing to work things out now that your job's in jeopardy and Julian's reputation is tanking? That's not fair. Fair? Diana, you cheated on me for months. You lied to everyone. You tried to make me look like a monster. And now that it's all falling apart, you want to fix things? Melissa and Jake looked uncomfortable. Other neighbors were starting to watch. I love you, Diana said, tears forming. I made a mistake, but I love you. No, you don't. You love the idea of not being alone. You love having someone to blame when things go wrong. But you don't love me. Maybe you never did. Julian appeared, putting his hand on Diana's shoulder. That's enough. Leave her alone. I looked at him. You know what's funny, Jules? I did some digging. Turns out you're dating someone else too. A married woman named Jennifer from your office. Does Diana know about her? Diana's head snapped toward Julian. What? He's lying, Julian said quickly. Am I? Jennifer's husband works at Morrison. He mentioned his wife was having an affair with her boss. Small world, right? Diana's face went from confused to furious in seconds. You're cheating on me? We're not exclusive. She slapped him. Hard. The sound echoed across the yard. The block party went silent. Everyone was watching now. You snake, Diana hissed. You told me you loved me. You told me we'd be together. Diana, calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. I left my husband for you. You left your husband because your marriage was over, Julian shot back. Don't put that on me. They started arguing, voices rising. Cassandra tried to intervene, but Diana turned on her too. And you knew, didn't you? You knew he was seeing someone else. I didn't. You're supposed to be my best friend. It devolved quickly. Diana screaming, Julian trying to leave, Cassandra crying, neighbors filming on their phones. Mrs. Adams leaned over to me. Well, this is better than cable. Melissa looked horrified. Should we do something? Nope. Let it play out. Eventually, Julian got in his car and left. Diana, mascara running, turned to face the crowd of neighbors. This is all his fault, she said, pointing at me. He drove me to this. He's controlling and cold and… Diana, Mrs. Adams interrupted. We've all seen Trevor. He's been nothing but polite and kind. You're the one who's been causing drama. Other neighbors nodded. Diana looked around, realizing she had no support, no allies. She grabbed her purse and ran to her car. Cassandra followed, and they both drove off. The party resumed, but the energy was different. People came up to me, apologizing for believing the rumors, offering support. You handled that well, Jake said. I would have lost my temper. I did lose my temper. I just did it strategically. Melissa laughed. Remind me never to get on your bad side. That night, I got a call from Patricia Chen, my lawyer. Mr. Harlan, Diana's attorney, reached out. She wants to settle the divorce quickly and quietly. She's willing to sign over her half of the house if you agree not to pursue defamation charges. What about alimony? She's not asking for it. She just wants out. Tell her I agree. But I want it in writing that she admits to the affair and takes full responsibility for the marriage ending. That's unusual. Most people just want it over with. I want the record clear. For both of us. I'll see what I can do. 3 days later, I had the agreement. Diana admitted to the affair, waived all claims to the house and my assets, and agreed to a clean break. In exchange, I agreed not to pursue legal action for defamation. I signed it and sent it back. The divorce was finalized 6 weeks later. I kept the house, my savings, and my dignity. Diana moved in with Cassandra. Julian's business took a hit when word spread about his affairs, but he recovered. Rich guys always do. Pete and I became actual friends. He helped me repaint the master bedroom, getting rid of the last traces of Diana. "You seem good," he said one afternoon, roller in hand. "I am good. Better than I've been in years. Any regrets?" "Just one. I wish I'd stood up for myself sooner." 6 months after the divorce, I ran into Diana at the grocery store. She looked tired, older somehow. "Trevor." "Diana." Awkward silence. "How are you?" she asked. "Good. You?" "Fine. Living with Cassandra. Looking for a new job." "Sorry to hear that." "Are you?" "Sorry, I mean." I thought about it. "Yeah, actually. I'm sorry it ended the way it did. I'm sorry we couldn't figure it out. But I'm not sorry it's over." She nodded. "I was wrong. About a lot of things. I blamed you for my own unhappiness, and that wasn't fair. No, it wasn't. For what it's worth, I am sorry. Truly." "I know. Thanks." We stood there for another moment, then went our separate ways. That night, I sat in my guest room, now fully my room, and thought about everything that had happened. The betrayal, the anger, the revenge, the resolution. I'd won. Not because I'd destroyed Diana or Julian, but because I'd refused to let them destroy me. I'd stood up for myself, fought back strategically, and came out stronger. My phone buzzed. Melissa. "Hey, Jake and I are having a game night Friday. Want to come? We're thinking of inviting Ray and his girlfriend, too." "Yeah, that sounds great." Life moved on. I dated occasionally, nothing serious. Focused on work, got a promotion, turned the master bedroom into a home office, built a workshop in the garage for my woodworking hobby. The guest room stayed my bedroom, my fortress, my reminder that sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying someone else, it's building a better life for yourself. A year after the divorce, I was at Murphy's with Ray when Tina mentioned she'd heard Diana and Julian had gotten back together. "They deserve each other," Ray said. "Probably," I agreed. "You ever think about what might have happened if you'd just forgiven her? Tried to work it out?" I sipped my beer, considering. "Yeah, I think I would have been miserable. She didn't respect me, didn't value what we had. Forgiving her would have just taught her she could do it again." Fair point. Besides, I like my life now. I'm happy. Can't say I was happy with her, not for a long time. "To happiness, then," Ray raised his glass. "To happiness." 2 years after the divorce, I sold the house. Too many memories, good and bad. I bought a smaller place across town, closer to work, with a bigger garage for woodworking. I ran into Pete at the hardware store. He was with a nice woman, introduced her as his fiancée. "Trevor, haven't seen you in forever. How are you?" "Great. You?" "Really good. Getting married in the spring. You should come." "I'd like that." We talked for a while, catching up. He mentioned Diana had moved out of state, was working for some tech company. "She seems happier," Pete said. "I think leaving town was good for her." "Good. I hope she is happy." And I meant it. The anger had faded, replaced by indifference and eventually a kind of distant goodwill. She'd hurt me, but I'd healed. She'd tried to destroy me, but I'd survived. That was enough. 3 years after the divorce, I met someone. Sarah, a teacher, funny and kind and nothing like Diana. We took things slow, learning each other, building something real. "Tell me about your ex," she said one night over dinner. "Which part?" "The important part. Why it ended." I told her the story, the whole thing, the guest room, the affair, the revenge, the resolution. "Wow," she said when I finished. "That's a lot." "Too much?" "No, it's honest. I appreciate that." And I appreciate that you didn't destroy her. You could have, but you didn't. I thought about it, but that's not who I want to be. Who do you want to be? Someone who builds things. Someone who doesn't tear others down to feel better about himself. Someone who stands up for himself without becoming the villain. She smiled. I like that person. Yeah, me too. 5 years after the divorce, I married Sarah in a small ceremony. Ray was my best man. Pete came with his wife. Melissa and Jake sent a gift. Diana sent a card. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. D. I showed it to Sarah. That's nice of her. Yeah, it is. We honeymooned in Maine, came back to our house, started building a life together. The guest room in the old house was long gone, but the lesson remained. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's refusing to let someone else's betrayal define you. It's building a fortress when they try to tear you down. It's standing your ground and coming out stronger. Diana had kicked me out of our bedroom, thinking it would break me. Instead, it freed me, and in the end, that was the best revenge of all.